Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Dame
Yeah.
Dash, he's someone I listen to a lot.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that he says. He says we always keep the information or the plug, as he will say. We all keep it to ourselves rather than sharing
Selves.
it with everybody to help the next person. Because
Right.
I mean, it
Right.
could be that small piece of information that literally what you just said. Are you going to the grocery store? You're wholesaling it. That could right there
Right.
save you hundreds of
Save you a
dollars over the
ton.
course of
Yeah.
over the course of a year.
Exactly. Exactly. And one of the other things that I really hate, and because people would say to me, "Why do you tell everybody your struggles in your business?" And I said, I'm pretty transparent about how tough this has been, right, and what I've gone through. But the one line thing that I hate is that fake it till you make it. Uh-uh.
Mm,
You need to tell people how hard this is, so maybe somebody will be there to help you.
Hmm.
Okay, because you're putting this facade up, like, yeah, I got this, and inside you're dying slowly because you don't have it, as
Hmm.
opposed
hmm
to saying, you know what, this is tough. This is tough. And I don't know if I'm going to make it from one day to the next. Okay. And then you might have somebody that steps in and says, well, what do you need? How can I help you? Right. But
mm,
I hate the fake it till you make it. And we do that so much. So much. I see companies that are like, wow, they're really successful. And then you don't see them the next year. How
Yeah.
about if you had said, I'm struggling to do this. I'm struggling to make, this company successful. You might have gotten some assistance, not necessarily financial, but maybe some advice that would help. Well, what are you struggling with? You know what I mean? I hate that fake it till you make it. And everybody says to me, why don't you just let people think this is, you're so successful? Because I'm not. I'm
Mm.
struggling. I made $30,000 this year. I can't pay anything. Okay. It's the truth. It's an industry
Mm.
that's tough for us. It's tough. And, to make it sugar coated, like, oh, you walk in and you get that wine label, it's going to be on the shelf. No, it's not.
mm.
That whole, if you build it, they will come. No, you got to take that thing to them. Nobody's coming. You got to get out there and hustle and grind. Right.
Yeah.
hmm
So yeah, it's, yeah.
It sounds like that's also a challenge that's similar to the financial literacy thing, where it start at home. The fake it till you make it
Mhm.
start at home as well, where
Yes, it
we
does.
have a struggle to open up and be transparent about certain things in our
Yeah.
community, and that can translate to the business aspect of things as well. So
Yeah.
for a young entrepreneur, for like there's a wave, especially with COVID, there's been a wave of young
Mhm.
entrepreneur who wants to get in the
Yeah.
game. What in the industry, I shouldn't call it a game because this is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
something that requires a lot of work. But
Yeah.
what's your advice for the I know we talk about financial literacy, we talk about
Mhm.
transparency. What's your advice for those who are looking to get into entrepreneurship in general?
In general. Yeah. Like I said, my best advice would be to, you know, decide what you want to do, and then decide, is this a hobby that you like, or is this something that you want to grow into a business, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. A hobby is good. I mean, if you like it as a hobby, do your thing. But if it's something you want to grow into a business, then you really need to do the research. Because if I'll go back to what I initially said, I was acting on, emotions. I was trying not
mm.
to be something, and so I've got to do something. If I had to go back and do that again, I would have done some research before I jumped in with both feet. All right. So do your research and understand what that industry is. And then you can Google, how tough is it to make, a tire into a brand, your personal brand. I now want to be the next, go, what is it, Goodyear, right?
Hmm.
How
hmm
tough is that? What are all the steps that are needed for that? And kind of do some homework before you jump in. And then if you're passionate about those tires, I say go for it, right? Go try to, find the suppliers. What stores are you going to need to sell them to? If you're selling a goods, if it's a service, who do I need to reach out to, right? To sell my service to. A lot of people don't know that if you have a service, you can actually export it, right? There are people in other countries that might want you to coach them on something and help them with business. So even if it's not a product or a consumer product, it could be a service, but look at, is it exportable? Is this something that goes beyond my borders? Um,
mm.
the one thing that I always knew about Shoe Crazy is I knew it would never just be a Virginia company. I knew that inherently. I want a national brand. I want an international brand. Um, I want to brand other things. Find a mentor. One of my mentors I've never met. And what do I mean by
Mhm.
that? What do you think I mean by that? As a mentor I never met. She doesn't know
It
who I
could be a
am.
book. Could be a book.
Could be a book.
Um,
Could
Right.
it
be a
could
book.
be, and yeah, I would say it's probably a book. That's what I would have to say.
No, it's not. It's actually a person. So let's
Okay.
just and
Well, the person had to write the
it's
book.
some. Yep, she probably have a book. You're right. She probably wrote a book, but that's not how I met it. I was from a TV show.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
This that sounds the most like so frivolous, doesn't it? From a TV show. So what I liked about her though was how she was tenacious. She said, "I'm gonna find my niche. I'm gonna build a business," and then she went about doing it.
Hmm.
And the one thing that she said when she sold her business was, "I never sold my licensing rights." Right. So I follow
Mm.
what she does because I was impressed initially by what I saw in her. Right. And people would go, "Well, who's one of your best mentors?" Somebody that I've never met and has never met me. Because I look at how she has run her business, how she sold her business, what she kept from her business. Right. So you can have a mentor that
Yeah.
is in the flesh and blood, which we should all have. Um, the other thing we should have is a champion, right? So I would consider myself to someone that wants to go into the a wine industry. I wouldn't consider myself their mentor. I would consider myself their champion. You can get a mentor that can help you with the business plan and how you pull it all together. A champion is somebody that's going to open a door for you when you're ready. I learned that
Mm.
in corporate when I said, I need a mentor. I need a mentor. And my manager said to me, no, you don't need a mentor. You need a champion. A mentor can get you so far. A champion doesn't want to hear from you until you say, I'm ready for that next step. And they go, okay, well, let's see what we can find. And if they hear something, the first person they will say is, okay, Gwen Hurd would be great for this job. And I'm recommending her. That's your champion. And you usually
Hmm.
end up getting that position or at least the opportunity to interview for it. So if someone wanted to go into the wine business, I would say I'd rather be your champion than your mentor because I would help open a door for you. If you want to sell into the military, if you want to sell into Target, if you want to sell into Walmart, if you want to sell into Food Line, the places that I have, got my product into, obviously I know how to do that, right? So for me, it would be to be that person's champion. And I've been a champion for a couple of ladies already. I've done that. I've gotten their stuff
Nice.
into Total Wine, some of them going into Food Line. But I'm not going to mentor you day to day. When I mentor
Hmm.
someone, it's because they have no knowledge of where they're doing business wise or in corporate. I do have someone that I mentor that works for the U.S. Treasury because my
Phew.
management and business skills work in a mentor position. We all need to be doing more of that for our people too. We need
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
opening doors and cracking down, knocking heads, saying, let us in. And we don't do that either. We are scared. We're
Hmm.
scared. And we have to
Well, I don't
stop
think
living in
it's
fear.